I'm Darnell Self.
And we're super excited to be here today to share with you information that was shared with each of us several years ago that has had such a massive impact on us and our families. So Darnell's going to start off today explaining exactly what our company does, and I'll be back in a few minutes to share with you exactly how much this is going to be able to benefit you financially. Darnell?
So let me share with you my background prior to Legal Shield. I was a retail manager working at a mall here in the Washington, D.C. area. And if you're anything familiar with the retail industry, you know weekends are the most important times. And so I missed everything that happened in my personal life on the weekends, my kids' sporting events, and birthday parties, family reunions. If it happened on a weekend, I missed it. So at 25 years old, I said, no way am I going to do this for the rest of my life. So I stepped out on faith to become an entrepreneur. And for 3 years, I went on a downward spiral from 2 cars to 1 car, and then I lost my last car. I really lose it. When you lose something, you don't know where to find it. I knew where to find my car. It was at Toyota Motor Corporation's parking lot. I just couldn't go pick it up. Funny today, not funny back then. Well, at 28 years old, I was introduced to Legal Shield, and it changed everything in my life. We've been stay-at-home parents for our 4 kids, and again, it's just been a real blessing for us. So today, I have an opportunity to share that information with you, but just as importantly as the opportunity, it's the services that we provide that really grab the heartstrings for me. You see, I realized that the best business models of today were those that disrupted existing models. You see, if you solve the biggest problems in this world for the most amount of people, you earn a lot of money. Let's look at what Uber did for the black car and taxi car industry. You see, they solved a huge problem and made billions of dollars along the way. Netflix did that for Blockbuster. You see, no longer do we have to go out and rent videos from a store. Airbnb in the accommodation and hotel industry. Amazon in the retail industry. So let me repeat, those who solve the biggest problems for the most people make the most money. And our company's solving 2 significant problems. One, the justice system. You see, a lot of people say that it's broken, but it's not. Not for those who make enough money to afford it. You see, the real color of justice isn't black or white, unfortunately, but it's green. We get as much justice as we can afford, and Legal Shield's leveling the legal playing field for the first time in North America. So let's talk about that problem that we're solving. You see, we give you access to a mobile app. You can actually contact a lawyer with the press of a button on your phone. And we're not just a company that's starting up today. We're a company that's been around for over 40 years, started in 1972. So we press a button and we have access to thousands of legal forms. If you say, no, I actually want to talk to a lawyer, you press a button and you actually talk to a lawyer on an unlimited amount of personal issues. That simply means that if I have a problem today, I can pick up the phone and talk to my lawyer and not have to worry about a bill showing up after that consultation. But not only will they give you consultation, they'll also write a letter or make a phone call for you if they deem that necessary. I'll never forget I had a creditor harassing me over $92.20. And I thought to myself, well, I don't owe the $92, I'm not paying it. Well, this company said, we're going to send your name to a collection agency if you don't pay it. I said, who's your supervisor? Well, they agreed with their coworker. And so I called Legal Shield. Legal Shield says, no worries, we'll write a letter on your behalf. I never forget the letter. It says, you must cease and desist our contact with our clients pursuant to the Fair Debt Collections Practice Act. Now, I wouldn't have known to say that. In fact, the letter scared me. I almost wrote myself a check for $92. My point is, I never heard from that company again, but it's the power of a lawyer writing that letter versus Darnell writing that same letter. You see, it saved me time. It saved me money. There's no stressing, no guessing. I pressed the app and talked to my lawyer. They'll also review contracts and documents for you up to 15 pages. They say the bold print giveth, but the fine print taketh away. So we have access now to lawyers who can review our documents before we sign our names to them. One of my favorite benefits of my Legal Shield membership, if I get a moving traffic violation, I get to press that button. It opens up my camera function on my phone, takes a picture of that moving traffic violation. It goes over to the law firm to tell you the best way to handle that ticket. And listen, it's great when I get a deduction from my fine, but just as importantly, I want to keep the points off of my license because we know auto insurance is already too expensive. And I can't tell you how many times my lawyers have been able to help me to get the points removed from my license. So if you drive like a teenager, you have teenage drivers in your household, this is going to be awesome for you. Another benefit with our service is you have access to a last will and testament. So I'm almost embarrassed to tell you when I joined Legal Shield, I was married with 2 children. Again, now we have 4. But I didn't have my last will and testament done. But I'm not alone, right? The average will costs $500 to $1,000 to have it prepared by a lawyer. Legal Shield takes away that excuse. We give you one just for having our service. Not only that, they'll update it each year at no additional cost. And listen, I'll never forget my uncle. My mom has 8 sisters and 1 brother. My only uncle passed a couple of years ago. He was connected to life support, but my mom and her sisters didn't have to argue back and forth on whether they thought they were doing what was best for my uncle, because it was already in his living will. I've seen siblings no longer speak because there wasn't a will in place. Don't put your family through that. Make sure you take care of your last will and testament. You have access to that now. Right there through your app, you can start filling out the worksheet for your last will and testament. The part of our membership that gives my wife and I the greatest amount of peace of mind is the red button right there on your Legal Shield mobile app. It says emergency access. That's right, we give you 24-hour a day, 7-day a week access in emergency situations. And listen, this isn't about bad people doing worse things. We're saying bad things happen to good people too. You see, one of my sons is in college. He's a great kid, but he could be a great kid at the right party with the wrong crowd at the wrong time. And if he's being questioned, detained, or arrested, he doesn't have a right to call dad or a right to call pastor, but he has a right to call his lawyer, and he has access to that 24 hours a day. Make sure you not only take advantage of this membership, but tell the people who you love and care about that this exists. Now, if you're anything like me, it's not about how much money you make, but how much money you keep. You see, everything that we've talked about so far is already 100% covered with your membership. But anything that falls outside of that, you're going to get a 25% preferred member discount. You see, because you're part of Legal Shield, you'll never ever have to pay 100% for your attorney fees again. At minimum, you'll get a discount. Those are things like contested divorce. Perhaps you want to sue someone, or maybe it's bankruptcy. At minimum, you get a preferred member discount. And because you're signing up for Legal Shield today, in addition to your discount, you're also going to have access to a program we call Member Perks. That's right, 400 vendors you get to save money on now. Places you already spend money with, right? Like Best Buy for electronics. Or when I go rent a car, I took my son to college just a month ago, and guess what? I saved $102 on my rent-a-car. We went to the movies, I saved $6 per ticket. This is huge. So again, you have so many areas where you can save money. In fact, let me just tell you this. For this legal plan, we're not talking about $200 an hour for a lawyer, which would be, what, thousands a month? We're talking about $24.95 a month. You have access to our service. Less than $25 a month, less than $1 a day. And guess what? I save more money than that every single month just by using my Member Perks program. So congratulations on being a Legal Shield member. You're going to save a lot of money, but more importantly, it's going to reduce your stress. If you're ever in a situation, don't ever forget, you have empowerment. Press that button right on your mobile app. So now after learning a little bit more about Legal Shield, I'm sure you would agree, for what it would normally cost to have 1 hour of a lawyer's time, we get to protect and empower you, your spouse, and your dependents for an entire year, for what you would normally pay for that same 1 hour of a lawyer's time. You've got to agree that we are truly leveling the legal playing field for the first time in North America. And that's just one of the problems that we're solving. The other major problem that we're solving is the identity theft epidemic. Right? We know it's one of the fastest growing crimes in America. Most people think it's just financial, but it's bigger than just financial. Right? There's tax fraud, and there's medical fraud, and there's social security fraud. And so what happens when we're a victim of identity theft? Most folks, first of all, don't even know they've been victimized. And so we actually do monitoring, again, right through an app on your phone. We'll monitor and alert you if someone accesses your information. And again, we're not just talking about financial. We're monitoring your entire digital DNA. But when someone accesses your information, where do you go from there? Well, with a tap of a button on your app, you now have access to a licensed private investigator who will do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to restore your identity back to pre-theft status. You see, this differentiates us from everybody else that's out there. And it's exciting to know we've got a real product that solves, again, a real problem when people are in such a need today. I know you would agree that one of the most valuable things you have is your identity. And the cost of owning an ID Shield membership to protect you and your family is only $24.95. And if you're an individual, so you're not married, you don't have any dependents, it's only $9.95. So collectively, the Legal Shield plan And our ID Shield plan, only $49.90 to protect your entire family. Again, about $1 a day. So that's why these two services marry so well together. If you're being pulled over for a routine traffic violation and there's a bench warrant out for your arrest or something you didn't even do, sure, you have an identity theft situation because someone did something bad in your good name, but that also can quickly turn into a legal situation. And so you want to have access to both of these services combined. Again, protect yourself for less than $1 a day. But guess what? We get to, without having experience as a lawyer or experience as a licensed private investigator, profit from these two major problems that we're solving across North America today. You see, it took me 7 years to get my bachelor's degree, so I'm certainly not a lawyer, but I get to stand as the middleman between the lawyers doing an amazing job by providing the service and our members who need access to them and our licensed private investigators, and we've been able to earn a great living by doing so. I've already told you we've been stay-at-home parents for 20 years for our 4 children, but just as importantly, we've been able to help a lot of other people do the same thing. And it's nothing like having success with other people that indirectly you've been able to empower and impact the direction of their life. The gentleman I'm about to introduce did that just for me. You see, he introduced me to Legal Shield, and my life has not been the same since. I hope by you seeing the same information that I saw when I was 28 years old will direct your life, will shift the way you see things and the way you see yourself in your future. Please help me welcome